afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and everything amazing Propagandacast from your host, Imperial Dane, Master Propaganda, Heroes like Defender of the Fatherland, off here to an exciting 1 versus 1 on Vilshanka. In the west, it's Hanwoomul, not entirely how to pronounce that one, but fighting for America, freedom, democracy, the 1st Armored Division versus in the east, it's Redxwings, fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland, taking on the role here of the 106th Panzer Brigade, Feldherrnhalle with elite troops, encirclement, and German infantry. All 3 Stormtrooper doctrines with Stormtrooper bulletins, Pioneer bulletins, and MG42 bulletins. With mechanized there up for Hanwoomul, with triple infantry there. We got a Dodge truck early on, Grenadiers filling up here for Redxwings. Certainly getting ready in case he might get hit by a Dodge truck. I suppose just having Grenadiers is nice as well, because that Dodge truck otherwise without Grenadiers is going to hurt a lot. Pioneers, MG42 offensive, looks like the Grenadiers will be heading... No, he's heading northward, so he's actually not going straight for his fuel point, but is rather looking to secure some more vital points, I guess, here versus the Americans. Not your average opening here on Vilshanka in the south. Dodge truck setting out there for Hanwoomul. Able to just see his territory using that one. We got rifle on the way there for him, and the 1st Armoured, but way up here on the heavy cover there by the centre victory point. MG42 they're standing about, not quite sitting up, Grenadiers northwards. 2nd Grenadiers on the way there for Redxwings. With reactions there sitting up, but wire to make it harder for Redxwings to make a push for the fuel and sort of dig in around here. Makes a lot of sense. We'll have to see the also wires off this little spot there. And there go reactions caught here, laying down the barbed wire, but then MG42 Pioneers rushing in. 2nd Grenadiers squad almost done. As the 1st one moves up to secure the munitions, so it looks like he might be planning to secure his opponents or the northern fuel point here, which is definitely not your average move here on Vilshanka. Note the MG42 is being shifted about here because he's anticipating, I think, a push up from the south to relieve that sort of flank behind Redxwings, but that's clearly not what's happening. In fact, he seems to be running straight on to Redxwings, forcing him to reposition the machine gun again. Grenadiers saying south. It's enough again. He's not grabbing the fuel there, and he does risk falling behind on his opponent in terms of fuel rather rapidly. He's not careful. But there you go. Dark track moving up. He needs to get the Grenadiers in there to sort of support and cut off. Grenadiers backing off there. And up north, Pioneers right, but he has man for into the point neutral. We got the MG42 there in the church. Grenadiers got there moving about a bit as well. We'll have to see what he's planning with that one. More Pioneers on the way there for Redxwings. So 2 Grenadiers, 1 MG42, and 2 Pioneers. Could we plan for sort of a reasonably fast takeout with a light tier 1 here that Redxwings is planning, or is there something else going on in his noggin there? Always hard to say for Redxwings. Always hard to say. But there you go. He's sort of got a decent amount of territory there, but again, he's certainly behind on fuel compared to his American opponents, so that could prove a bit dangerous for Redxwings. And particularly, he's planning a fast takeout, but usually do not want to, lack fuel. So it's hard to say what exactly Redxwings is planning. And again, it always is, isn't it? Got the southern fuel, consistently carve point there. Grenadiers trying to sort of flank in on the right from Pioneers as well here. We got reactions coming up, and Pioneers will have to deal with that. If he had taken up, of course, as soon he does have take up, he could have considered a rifle grenade here. That'd be a really good rifle grenade spot, but that's not happening. He could also consider elite troops maybe with the stun grenade once he hits 1 command point. But there you go, 2 Pioneer squads plus 2 Grenadiers allows him to overwhelm the rifle there with sheer firepower, pushing back. In fact, he ends up not suffering as badly there. So nice work there by Redxwings. Machine gun remains in the church up north, bit static there. Not a huge fan of that one. We got cavalry rifle out there, and he's going to pop in the Dart truck and in the Thompson as well. They're forming up a little raid team there that's going to give Redxwings a bit of a rough time, I imagine. Grenadiers then need a reinforcement. We got take up there for Redxwings, and the 106th Panzer Brigade Feldherrnhalle was one of 2 units formed up of old SA or Sturmabteilung members, predecessor to the Waffen SS before that was disbanded. But later in the war, they sort of kind of realised we need something to form up manpower units with, so they kind of sort of tried to dredge it out again, forming up the Panzer Grenadier Division Feldherrnhalle, but also the Panzer Brigade Feldherrnhalle, 106th that is, which only fought on the western front, whereas the Panzer Division only fought on the eastern front. Fun note there. MG42 their forced retreat. Lieutenant going straight here for the carve point. Might be seeing a steward here from Hanwoomul versus Redxwings swiftly enough. Again, push for the carve point there. MG4 certainly church not helping. There we go. We do get elite troops. They're a rarer sight nowadays. But in the hands of the right player, it can certainly be formidable. G for the features of the Americans is always good. Concussor grenades, pretty good as well in the right cases. Plus Stormtroopers are always good in my opinion. And there you go, Panther passed off in the dark truck, MD4 setting up. It's going to try and blast the lieutenant there while he's not quite properly in cover, but Hanwoomul gets his men swiftly enough into position there to avoid getting immediately suppressed. We've got these pioneers flanking in here, threatening him further. Still, that's going to deny Redxwings more precious fuel here, which of course allows Hanwoomul to further pull ahead. Stormtroopers available, G for the fleet's also available here for Redxwings, almost getting the lieutenant here, but looks like he's not quite going to get it. And there we go, we've got Stormtroopers up appearing here behind. Sneaky insertion there. We'll be going for the G for the fleet, in which case they get 4 of them. Unlike Grenadiers, who only get 2, we'll go for the MP40s. But there you go. Aiming for maybe a wipe, or at least getting the dart truck, which interesting enough was never upgraded with the 50 caliber on top. He's trying to pull out the crew, but it could probably be a bit too late. Nope, gets it out just in time. And there you go, the Dodge truck is done for. But instead, Redxwings ends up losing one of his pioneer squads in the south. That is less good for him. Cavalry rifle charging in, that's the second squad. He had a pretty interesting move there with double cavalry rifle squads. You don't usually see that from a lot of American players, so it's interesting there to see Hanwoomul going for it. Back here, no tech up yet. Stormtroopers rushing all the way back. If they manage to get them to Veterans 1, they'd heal themselves, but so far they're not there, so he will need some other matches. Oh, so not going to be very combat effective for Redxwings for long. Troops being caught here by the MD42, Grenadiers moving forwards. Light machines on the way there, no G for the fleas. Back here, Stormtroopers are not receiving any upgrades as of yet. We'll have to see what Redxwings ends up with, but he does have options. So he probably should get some Grenadiers to patch them up first, otherwise they're just going to be free experience there for Hanwoomul, and just a waste of manpower from his ending the MP40s. Very nice there, right caught here by the Grenadiers and the MD42. Stormtroopers could try and flank up. They gotta get lucky then, hope he doesn't switch those tactics, because again the Stormtroopers will rapidly fall, assuming they're crossing here to go. But looks like he wasn't paying attention, allowing the Stormtroopers to get close, do some heavy damage. In fact, they might just be able to gain Veterans 1. There we go, gaining Veterans 1, and they're going to sort of escape reasonably well. They can sort of heal up most of the damage now on their own. But with a lot of cavalry rifle pulling off a massive flank here for Hanwoomul, it becomes a lot harder for Redxwings to get these Stormtroopers back safely. But at the same time, also getting the fuel put up north. A bold move there by Redxwings, but certainly bold characterizes a lot of what Redxwings does at the time. Bunker going up, they got the cut-off point here, got the victory point. Grenadiers retreating, Stormtroopers there, as we can now see, are healing on their own. So they won't need the medic bunkers badly. And that way he can actually keep them on the front line now. And we got a second Stormtrooper squad out here for Redxwings, moving up here to help defend the fuel point. MP40's on the way, Rifle in a bit of a bad spot, quickly pulling up behind Carl, but they are low on health. And Redxwings Stormtroopers should be able to have a good chance of doing some heavy damage. Back here, troops reinforcing. Worth noting that the 1 and 6th Panzer Brigade, I believe, was the only Panzer Brigade that wasn't ever disbanded or fully upgraded to a division. Most other Panzer Brigades were basically, in most cases, disbanded. A few of them were upgraded usually to full Panzer Grenadier divisions. Maybe one was upgraded to a Panzer division. But that's sort of the fun note there. Stormtroopers are routed by a big cavalry rifle flanking in there. Heavy submachine gun fire there from Hanwoomul. Threatens to wipe out Redxwings' nascent Stormtrooper surge. It looks like they do get away there. A bit lucky there. He was really close to annihilating them. And it is moving forward to the light machine gun support there, though heavy machine gun support is a bit lacking. No light to Mechanized company could indicate Redxwings is actually planning to move straight ahead for the next tier and push medium arm out here versus his opponent. An interesting move there. The attack here, though, is not going too well for Redxwings. There you go. Cavalry rifle once more threatening the flank. MD42 they're setting up. He should be able to have a chance to stop it, but will it? Cavalry rifle moving fast. It can the MD42. There you go. Oh, not fast enough. Not fast enough. He's going to try to retreat, but the MD42 is so slow to pick up there. And is immediately wiped. Had that been a 50 caliber, well, most Allied machine guns, really, except for the Vickers, they would have think they'd able to get out of there fast enough. But the MD42 is really slow to get anywhere, and that's usually one of the reasons I think most Allied players tend not to go for a lot of them. They're just really slow. So there you go, wiped again. Stormtroopers doing what they can against all the troops up close. Brandhand gun out of there and allows them, I think, in the end to get a wipe in the vehicle crew. Not a big one, but you know, something. Betty to run the Stormtroopers, so to make a much more formidable opponent. There you go, we got tactical advance, increase his chance of getting a wipe penny. Oh, really close when they almost did it, and you spin me right round, baby, right round, like a record, baby, right round, right round. Anyways, troops up there still going to take it there for Redxwings, moving about in the south here with his other stormtroopers squad. Loss of the MG42 of course has to be quickly rectified, since that's going to be still, even if it's slow, I mean it's still good usually for sort of stuffing things out, but it requires a lot of deft handling. Again, one mistake there and just one wrong call though, and it's quickly done because it's so difficult to get out of there in a sticky spot. Anyway, seizing the southern fuel point here, grabbing the southern nations with the stormtroopers. Stormtroopers heading northwards, close to Veteran 3. Veterans standing about there, close to Veterans 1. We got a bit of troops coming up here. Again, the double cavalry riflemen on the move. Re-echelons are routed. Oh, does he go for the like to Mechanized company all of a sudden? Oh, he does take up. So okay, he's basically going for a tier 3 rush there, though rather slow for that. But he already got taken there for Hanwoomul. He's already had, the fuel edge here of Redxwings, so it's going to be a tricky there for Redxwings. He could find himself forced to have to go for Stuke first. Well, forced. You always want to go for Stuke deep down, but sometimes you're forced to go for other things. Anyways, Lieutenant there holding by the MD42 Pioneers moving ahead. I will hope to see if Redxwings can fast get up something here then. But yeah, he's likely going to have to, I think, push out a Stuke here to hold up against any potential armor there for Hanwoomul. The other option, I guess, would be going for Panzer Shreks and the Stormtroopers. That's also an option, though. That would be a bit of a interim solution. I'll take up almost done. Almost. And he's got light machine, got cavalry rifle, got regular rifle about here. There you go. Concussor grenade on the cavalry rifle. There you go, holding him a bit, but ultimately has to fall back. Too many casualties in the process. About to lose his other pioneer squad. And the North Storms were there, tearing their way through Hanwoomul's northern echelons. The squad needed to deal with the cavalry or the rifleman there, but he should be able to get the Spommer Cop soon. Up close and ugly. Stormtroopers really close with the rifleman. They get a bit lucky and actually manage to drop cell members really fast, whereas the Stormtroopers just did a lot of damage without really dropping models fast enough, so that didn't quite work out there. But there goes the Spommer Cop, going to need reinforcement forwards. Hanwoomul there pushing for the cut-off point up north there, fuel point there. He's going to have to fall back. He could have even a smoke grenade here to help cut out the retreat, but he's really intent on trying to stall as much as possible. One option Redxwings could also consider once he's regained the points he would be to booby trap them using the Stormtroopers. It's not something you consider a lot of the time, but it could be helping to make it harder there for Hanwoomul to harass Redxwings then. Cav rifle there getting blasted with the light machine guns. Going back to the cutoff point with him before 2 shot all the way there for Hanwoomul. And the Redxwings could have very likely found himself then forced to have to go for the Stuke because he's got no real other way of sort of stopping that Sherman. We'll of course have to see if that is what he does. He's going to try and stall for the Panther 4, but I would certainly imagine him going here as the Stuke being the optimal choice. Got the Gunleys holding forwards close to Veteran 3, seizing the southern fuel point there for the fatherland. Closing in Veteran 2-1. Very close to the Stuke. He's got the fuel, he just needs the manpower. Sherman almost done. Telemines could of course also be an idea, but again I do feel like some booby traps could be a very nice investment here for Redxwings. And the Deutsche Wehrmann there go. Lieutenant, Stormtroopers, Liaisons all clashing here. We got Carol coming up, but up close as a 2-top. Stormtroopers, of course, should be able to quickly finish off Lieutenant if to pop tactical advantage. That could cause some grievous casualties there to Hanwoomul, and there go Liaisons all surrounding as well. 8 Stormtroopers out here for Redxwings, so that's excellent for Redxwings. Less excellent. There you go. We got Carol on the other side. There you go, suppressed by the MD42. One Stormtrooper retreating, the other one there pushing back the Cav Rifleman. He's moving ahead here. We got the Sherman out there. Redxwings, will he go for the Stuke? Will he go for the Panther 4? He's close enough to maybe be able to go for the Panther 4, but it does risk the Sherman just doing extra more damage and the time being, again, there's just, between him and being able to call in the Panther 4. In fact, he's trying straight into the base. He's also, note by the way, adding dozer blades. An upgrade a lot of people go for it. It does make the Sherman a bit tougher, so it actually tends to be a decent upgrade. There goes Smoke Grenade down here to help protect his troops inside the base. MD421, he goes for the Panther 4. He does go for the Panther 4. He really bolts a move there. Again, I would have personally just gone for Stuke as fast as possible. More Smoke Grenades down here. Really nice way to try and save the men in the side of space there by the Redxwings. Thumbs up there. Hitting the card on this, going to have to treat the Pioneers. It looks like Hanwoomul decides not to push his luck any longer, then pulls out of the bases, probably expecting something to come. That's a Spommer Core there from Redxwings. Pioneers so close and wiped out. That's going to be a bit of a loss there to Redxwings, since that means, of course, He has to get them, otherwise he's got no way of repairing his tank. So right now, Redxwings forces are rather depleted here. There's the Hanwoomul and the 1st Armoured Division. That's the Panzer Brigade, Feldherrn counterattacks. Stormtroopers are definitely proving they're worthy, I would say, and there you go. Second, or the 1st Panzer will around there for Redxwings, but he's definitely going to need a lot of pioneers to work with. He's holding up here. There's a need to fall back soon. We got 389 versus 423 in terms of victory points. And I say there, Kennedy is routed. Rifle falling back as well. Here in the north, Storms are slowly go back together here so they can quickly overwhelm any unit with submachine gun fire. He's likely anticipating countering the cavalry riflemen together, in which case having the Storms work together should increase the chance of hurting them. Popping in, he's expecting that popping in to get quick to wrap them up. Very nice move there. So they're going to have to try and escape here. Going to do something, and there you go. Quick retreat from the cavalry riflemen. Sherman north is going to have to get the Panther one fast. More pioneers on the way there for Redxwings. So good, so good. There you go, 1st Armoured Division, Sherman tank on the move, can lose ground victory point. Other point being seized there by the Stormtroopers, Panzer 4 moving northwards as well to counter the Sherman. You got 350 versus 423. Point seized. Point seized in a few seconds, anyways. So will he just go for more Panzer 4s? Will he come to the Stug? I mean, there's an opponent with mechanized. There's the position of the 76 was shown, which is definitely going to be outperforming the Panzer 4 in a lot of cases. So I mean, Stugs could likely end up being the better choice, and even perhaps the Bulldozer Blade upgrade Sherman there could be in a decent field position versus the Panzer 4 as well. The Suki team's moving up. And we got 50 calibers out there for Hanwoomul. And again, some suppressive firepower. Panzer 4, they're getting flanked by the Lieutenant Machiners heading up there, but not quite fast enough. Stormtroopers there fighting here, pushing up for the center, coming on fire from the Sherman. Need to get them out of there very swiftly. Would be a huge waste there for Redxwings to lose an ace Stormtrooper squad. Would be quite costly since they do pack a lot of punch, and with a well-timed tactical advance, they can do even more damage to infantry under the right circumstances. So, very good call there, getting them the devil out of there before it was too late. Cavalry riflemen charging 40 in the fire, and they're going to do Panzer 4 as well. They almost got the calf point. Cavalry riflemen almost done. Storms are reinforcing. Hanwoomul can soon call in more medium armour. You could try to set up for the Jackson. That's what we want. And there goes Storms up north. They caught by the cavalry rifle cause taking heavy damage. Sherman moving up there as well. High explosive rounds ready. Stormtroopers could see a wipe, which would be quite unpleasant here for Redxwings. And the 1 and 6th Panzer Brigade. But no, it looks like last man makes it.
We're losing a capture point.
And we got another MU-4 to the right to deal with the infantry. Grab the southern victory point. Down to 313 versus 423. 50 cover there, but Gunners managed to get into cover there. Might have a chance. He pops armor piercing rounds as well. Projected by gives a small damage bonus. It even does a bit of work there versus infantry, I believe. Correct, but there you go. Managed to take out the machine gun here because we're losing that. No cover, that's unit heavy cover, and someone just got ejected there by some mysterious and unknown force. Storms to defend the centre victory point with their very lives. Laying down heavy submachine gun once getting too close to the Sherman, shoots, bounce off the Panzer 4's armour. Note he's still firing high explosive rounds. The Panzer 4 here has a good chance, but Redxwings at the moment does not know that. Machine gun almost taken out, routed. Storms are there fighting off as many Americans as they can by the centre victory point. But it's starting to look a bit rough there. 31 kills. There you go, finally forced to fall back, but there you go, exposed. And there you go, rifle routed as well here. Sherman with the damaged engine. 76 miles Sherman all the way there for Hanwoomul and the 1st Armoured Division. Got the other machine gun moving up. In the south, cavalry rifle there, closing in on the ace level as the gun are already ace level. We got the Sherman there halfway done. Will Redxwings be going for the Panzer 4? Will be going for more Stugs? Or more Panzer 4 will go for the Stugs? Got a bit of the order there around. Intense fighting there. Intense, but certainly heated fighting. MG-42 setting up. They might be able to catch on the troops here at the edge of its arc of fire. Troops are healing reinforcing. 76 months Sherman out there for Hanwoomul. Hanwoomul? Mul. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce that. Pound 4 gun is the rifle. We got the Sherman moving up here. No pin machine being added to that one right away. Pound 4 shoots and spectacularly misses. Right from the rest of the light machine wielding grenadiers, but also got the Sherman, of course, providing fire support.
A capture point is under attack.
There we go, both Shermans are moving. This Panther 4 is definitely outgunned and outnumbered. Smoke screen deployed here, the Panther 4 seeks to escape. For very obvious reasons. He's certainly got the fuel for another Panther 4, but again he could go for the Stu. There's also option number crazy, which is just trying to install for the Tiger race. Definitely be in the cheekier end of the spectrum and possibly a bit bananas.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
And for being repaired, in before is the camera from here, holding them down. But the problem is again these Sherman tanks went up the flank of the machine gun crew, and there you go. We got the Sturmgeschütz 3 ausführen die Redxwings. And the guns get tough, bring out the Sturmgeschütz.
We are losing a sector.
Pioneers are being routed by the double Shermans. Certainly a formidable armoured force here. Germany, the might of the Sturmgeschütz 3 ausführen die can halt, or at least hope to halt. Up north here, point being seized by the cavalry riflemen. We got 311 versus 340. And we see that he's quickly conducting a bit of air recon to get an idea there what Redxwings is up to. Nice move there. Knowing more about your opponent is always a good thing. And there goes Stuk 3 out here for Redxwings. You will likely that I think need more Stuks here to tackle the Shermans. 2 Stuks would be the optimal number. At least working in pairs. I mean either 2 or 4 I guess. Pin map machine down to the Stuk for a bit of advanced infantry, very good. Still, since it's so cheap, and it's essentially just a light machine gun with, good range. Central victory, or car point is secured. Fuel plant also being lost. Be down at 287 versus 340. Stug sitting out there for Deutschland. He's got the fuel for another one, he just needs the manpower. In that case, again, 2 Stugs would put a lot of pressure on Hanwoomul's infantry, or armour, which can then, of course, leave the infantry exposed. Stormtroopers making the northern move backed up by machine guns, Panther moving up here as well. Stug is still hanging back, I guess he's waiting for the armour to reveal itself. We've got telemounts down there for Redxwings now. Better late than never. And could catch Hanwoomul off guard, who I think is not anticipating telemounts at this stage in the game. So I guess thumbs up there to Redxwings. Thumbs up. Sturmgeschütz there, a bit more sort of front narrate spot, and there you go. Cavalry charging the machine, but Stormtroopers moving up again. Ace 33 kills, there you go. Grenade off as well. Heavy damage landing inflicted. Sherman's moving up. Need to get the Stu there to join in. There you go. Boulder Sherman moving on. There you go. Stu gets a nice penetrating hit on the Sherman. And we can see the Shermans are falling back in the face of this armoured revolution. This icon of the side. Sherman moving up and they're retreating Stormtroopers. Panther 4 moving up slowly. We got Veterans 1 on that one. 4 kills. Certainly nothing compared to the 21 kills of the Sherman. Tiger Race available there for Redxwings. I mean, it could still be on the table here. We'll have to see where it goes for that one. I mean, a well-handled Tiger Race could very well win Redxwings this, but Hanwoomul there seems to be sensing something. So I'm now going to go for the Jackson Tank Destroyer, in which case more Stugs would definitely be the good choice, since the Stugs basically just in terms of DPS outdo the Jackson easily. Particularly some of them cost wise performance. And a pair of Stugs can very quickly take apart the Jackson when Hanwoomul is not careful. But again, it could be he's just now planning for a tag race. We could also just go for another Panther 4 now. Oh, moving ahead, there you go, the halted by the Sturmgeschütz, closing Veterans 1 on that one. Storms advancing here with 36 kills. Stug lands a nice hit, gains Veterans 1, target 8 point available. external armor there. Could be just basically the front line, but it could also be that Redxwings is now thinking seriously about a Tiger Ace. There's some kills, got the Panther, we got the Storms. I don't think we're able to fight much more effectively for longer. Still, they do it for Germany. Seizing the southern ring point as well. If we're going to these, could move the machine gun out a bit further, I think. And there you go, Stormtroopers there, pushed back by the Sherman Finding. Bet into on that one. And we got another Stuka on the way there for Redxwings. Double Sturmgeschütz. Die beste Sturmgeschütz. So yeah, double Stuka should put a lot of pressure in Hanwoomul's armor and the Jackson as well. Giving Redxwings a much more solid, I think, platform just, you know, break off Hanwoomul's armored attacks with. Also time to push ahead, I think, more aggressively. Plus, I mean, he wants to stall for the Tiger Ace, having 2 Stuks, you know, act as an anti-tank element, and just, you know, light infantry support is going to be quite helpful there as well. Artillery firing down up north, trying to take out the machine gun, but Redxwings there is some unlucky there. And second Stuk done here for Redxwings. Second Sturmgeschütz. Shermaning up your flanking machine gun, that's going to be a wipe there thing against Redxwings, and there you go, machine gun crew snuffed out. Panther will move their 7 kills. Same Stuk moving ahead. Almost got the cavalry rifle there actually quite nicely. He's also almost got caught up here with Hanwoomul in terms of victory points again, but found himself brutally repulsed here in the centre by Hanwoomul and the 1st Armour Division. Pillman machine almost done there. Troops healing and reinforcing. Other Stuk hanging back in the south. There seems to be slowly north to join up with the rest. So what will Redxwings be aiming for next? Will it be just say 2 Panther forces to work with the 2 Stuks, or will it be the Tiger Ace? And we got Hanwoomul there with a Scott. Standing a bit of a throw there is, you know, actually a pretty good idea, and something that Redxwings is lacking. Major deciding to evict the machine gun there for being too unruly a tenant. Sending a very explosive eviction notice. I'm a bit scatty, allowing Redxwings to more effective defense to a certain degree, but of course a big push they could see any of the armoured pieces just overwhelmed. So he needs to be a bit mindful there. We got the Bazooka team coming up there, good. That's going to push back the Stuk. Other Stuk moving up, but still. But that's a good anti-infantry support here versus the Lieutenant of Resistance. The Stuk they quickly found themselves taking apart in a shower of bazooka fire. Close to losing the veteran 2 Storms. We've got the Ace ones moving up there. Sherm dashing 2 fight. There you go, straight into line of fire. There's 2 Stuks quickly taking down to half health. We could maybe see a Panther fast off, and there you go. Could see this Sherman here taking out here Hanwoomul standing against Redxwings, and he delivers a very nice backhand blow there, slapping Hanwoomul sharply across the cheek. Nice work there, very close to veteran 2 there on that Sturmgeschütz, by the way. Gonna lead Storms with a lot of trouble with the Sherman. He needs to fall back soon. Scott joining in the fun as well. 39 kills, excellent. Continues to push it. Oh, he's almost going to get wiped. Not entirely sure what he's doing there. We got smoke down. There goes Stuk's landing some good hits in the Sherman, almost taken out. Veteran 2 and 1. The Stuk Stormtroopers there almost wiped out by a stray high explosive shell. And oh no, the mine went off. And I think that was one of his own. And the Stuk goes down. The veteran Stuk goes down. Scheiße. 9. Ah, what a waste, what a waste. Always be careful about driving on your own mines. That was a horrid development there for Redxwings. I mean, it does seem like he's going for the Tiger Race, and he's reasonably close to be able to do so, but still losing a Vetchi 2 Stuk for that is not good. Got these up north here as the Major. Fixing up the Panther 4. Lieutenant advancing against the Stormtroopers. 74 True hammering away. They're suppressing the bastards. Land the Stormtroopers easily closing them, just hose them down with the hot German lead.
The enemy is taking our territory.
Scott moving in there. 4 kills. In the south, we got Stormtrooper pinned down here with machine gun fire from the 5th Cavalry. We got another Shogun wasting no Tiger Ace here for Redxwings only. The true power of the Sturmgeschütz.
We are losing a sector.
Armor ready. Make sure that bazooka's ready to go.
Stugon was done.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Got the Shermans moving up. They're packed up with the Scott. Jackson and a few bazooka teams moving up. Still, Hanwoomul's attacks are starting to lose a bit of their punch. I think he needs to sort of, consider bigger flanks here against Redxwings rather than just attacking head on constantly, because that's definitely working out well for the Stooks from Redxwings and isn't driving them over his own mines. Oh, my apologies there. And again. So we've got 225 versus 223. Carry around the flanking. Oh, weapon drop there. It looks like he had 2 lock machines that going to his squad. In fact, he's a bit short in infantry there, but there you go. Cavalry riflemen routed before they're able to grab the light machine gun. We got that second Sturmgeschütz. Good to go. Pin light machine gun being added as well. So good, so good. Close to a Sherman there with 37 kills. Certainly showing what a Sherman can do and will handle. And there you go, veterans run the Stooks. Sherman there so close to the ace level. 38 kills. Seizing the northern victory point. Troops healing, reinforcing. We got 202 versus 233. Sherman being fixed up. Scott Jackson hanging back. We'll be going for more Shermans. In this case, they're going for more 50 calibers for now at least. As for Redxwings, hard to say what exactly he's planning, except 2 Stooks at all times. Maybe it's a Tiger Ace, maybe it's a Panzer IV more, or maybe he's going for Tier 4 at some point. Smoking down from Storms to the push up, but they got the Sherman there quickly moving up to stop exactly that. Nice counter move there by Hanwoomul and the 1st Armored Division. Panzer running Norfolk's here. Nice hit on the Cavalry rifle, almost takes out the entire unit. The Panzer IV is very close to adding the Schutzen. In the centre we got the Jackson and Norfolk's backed up by bazooka teams to screen up against any armour getting too close. But on the end, they do get too close to the MD42 and get suppressed. Sherman moving ahead, and there you go, straight into the line of the 2 Stooks, doing a nice bit of damage there with their 75mm cannons. Or Sturmkanonen, actually, as they were known. Jackson falling back, Stormtroopers moving ahead here. 41 kills, impressive work there. Panzer IV getting ready to also very nice. In the south, slow advance here, I think, on Hanwoomul's lines. They're trying to perhaps outmaneuver them. The smaller force. But I think a nice push for the Panzer IV. A few Stormtroopers could probably dislodge Hanwoomul quite nicely. Up north again for the Cough again, right here with heavy casualties. Almost costing him the Ace Stormtroopers. Jackson number 2 on the way there for him. Interesting choice with double Stooks about, but I guess Hanwoomul is a believer in the Jackson tank destroyer. And goes Stooks moving up. They almost got the Sherman. Close one, but not quite. There we go. Heavy machine gun fire from the Stooks and the machine as they're just opposing the advancing cavalry riflemen. Got a support team somewhere. Looks like in the south it expired. Yes, there you go. Stormtroopers going forward. Stooks moving ahead here. Panzer IV as well there. Big push here for Redxwings against Hanwoomul. 50 caliber stone there as well. Jackson is going to get focused down. Ooh, penetrating hit from the Stook, getting ready to 2 shots added. Jackson down to half health. In the south, Panzer IV is going for the flank. He's going to try and take out the Scot. That's going to be a heavy blow here to Hanwoomul and the 1st Armored Division. Jackson tank destroyer down. Sherman explodes as well. Bazooka fire is raining down here on Redxwings armor. There you go. Almost got the Sherman. He needs to pop out of there. I think it's going to be too late. And there he goes. Sherman is kaput. Ziel zerstört. Another Jackson on the way there. Panzer IV down. But he was able to do some heavy damage there to Hanwoomul. Took out a Jackson, a Sherman, and a Scot. Losing just a Panzer IV in the process is pretty good, and for Redxwings. Going straight here with the Jackson right in front of the Stooks. And there you go. Target weak point. Jackson misses the other Stook there as it safely escapes under cover of smoke. And there goes second Stu with Vetsny too. Very nice there. And Redxwings is very close to the Tiger Ace as a call, in which case he could very well wrap up this match here versus Hanwoomul, who's only got 1 Jackson and some bazookas to try and stop this mighty piece of Germany. No, he didn't get the Scot actually. Never mind me, I'm just being silly. Though, the Scot's not really going to stop a Tiger Ace. It's not. That's like hoping a bag of marshmallows is going to stop the Tiger tank. It's not. Crew being repaired, troops are being held down with the machine. We got artillery calling as well by Hanwoomul. We got 180 versus 201. Almost got the machine gun there. Counter moving in. We got 16 kills and we got 70 kills. There you go. The machine gun crew expires. Very close there to the ace. We are roughly a minute away here for Redxwings. Actually, I think half a minute for Redxwings to get in the mighty Tiger Ace. Caravan they charging, or regular Raven next to unfortunately with the beer yards in the hand, still firing away their 3 kills. And there you go, Redxwings is still sneaking through the south here with Stormtroopers with 41 kills, 50 calibers and other elements there. Nice maneuver there. A mix of MP40s and rifles and the Stormtroopers with the 50 caliber. More pioneers on the way for Redxwings. Delaying the Tiger Ace a bit if that is what Redxwings actually intends to go for, though. I mean, it's ultimately speculation because he's floating so much fuel and is actually keeping up other than a fat hub of manpower. Kind of assuming he will be going for it at some point. Bit of an awkward move there by the Stormtroopers. Does suffer some losses there. Need to be careful. Mortar almost done there for Hanwoomul. So he's adding in mortar here versus Redxwings. That's definitely not going to slow down a Tiger Ace either. I mean, though technically, during the fighting in Arnhem, King Tiger actually got knocked out of the fighting because a mortar round hit its radiator, and on the Tiger tank's radiators were big weak spots. So, I mean, that could, theoretically happen, I guess, but obviously not in the game. Anyways, Stormtroopers trying to hide instead. They get met here by a lot of cav rifle taking heavy damage. 5th cover there should be able to cover the retreat here. Close to losing the Stormtroopers. That's sending a bit of blow there to Redxwings at this point. But he's very close to the Tigers. We've got the Stooks flanking in here on the Scot, doing heavy damage to it in the process. Almost gone. We got smoking off here. Stooks falling back. 50 cover continuing to fight away here. Backed up with the Stormtroopers. In fact, he's lost his other Stormtrooper squad. So there's actually not very much infantry left. No machine gun fire around the centre. And we're seconds away from the Tiger Ace. Seconds. Half-track out for Hanwoomul. He's going for a mortar half-track and a regular half-track on top of the Scot. He's going very heavily mortar teams here to try and, I think, blast his way through Redxwings. But again, it does leave him very, very open to the Tiger Ace. But again, I can't to an extent that's standard. He's probably not expecting. He's just wanting to finish the fight now by, obliterating most of Redxwings' support weapons. But the Tiger Ace is really going to mess him up. If he ever gets it, that is. Seems like he's not in a rush to get it. I probably want to make sure not his forces are too crippled before getting it. In which case, that does make sense. You don't just want to rush into Tiger Ace because you can. Because they can maybe end up crippling you with the penalties yourself from it being called in. At least for now, until they change it with the upcoming patch, where it seems like the Tiger Ace will gain some major revisions. Almost got the camera off, and then there you go. Wiped up, BAR dropped as well, and there you go. He can call in the Tiger Ace now. Will he do it? Who knows? Storm's equipped with the BR. We got a total call in the cuff pond as well. $143 versus 196. 50 caliber on the way. Motion down from the Storms was very nice. Sturmgeschütz hanging back for repairs. What is Redxwings thinking here? Again, I'm getting that Tiger Ace impression. He's not going for it, so I'm a bit unsure of what he is planning for. But there's something I'm missing here. 43 kills on the Storms with these sort of sweep around, counting down as many Americans as possible. And they get wiped. His remaining Stormtroopers, called his ace Stormtroopers, get wiped by a single hit from the Scot there. Proving how absolutely mean it is. And there you go, finally. The Tiger Race has been summoned forth. If he'd just done it so he might be able to save the Stormtroopers. What an absolute waste of good men. Well, good pixelated men, obviously. They're not real. Tiger Race moving forward, backed up, but the Stooks looks like Redxwings getting ready for an armoured punch here. A spearhead. With which to shatter Hanwoomul and the first armoured invasion here. He got 131 to 196. Direct hit from the Jackson the Tiger Ace. What will Hanwoomul do in response to this? And the Stooks seems to for not looking to support the Tiger Ace for now. He might be trying to, I think, bait out some sort of particular response from Hanwoomul before committing them. But only having one Galley squad and a bunch of pioneers, I think, is definitely risking a bit there for Redxwings. So what is it gonna be? What will happen? 129 versus 196. And these are his riflemen. Stooks moving ahead. Tiger Ace being fixed up. 3 kills. So finally the gun is fitting to wipe them out. $124 versus 196. Stooks are moving up, it seems. Gun is moving for the southern victory point. Is it time to make the push? What will it be, Redxwings? Hanwoomul they're throwing a bit of resources, going to routed away, which would be a big loss to lose them now. Machine almost close to being taken out as well. Tiger's advancing punishment force getting suppressed. There you go, Tiger's running in, shooting up, getting up, then one of the support weapons. Not actually getting a unit there to drop its bar. Stooks still hanging back. Stooks in fact withdrawing. So it seems like Redxwings is being awfully careful here versus Hanwoomul. Previous boldness has seemingly evaporated. Hanwoomul is on the retreat. Stook, Tiger is running ahead. Another Jackson on the way there. So this is time for Redxwings to deliver a killing blow here. There we go. Going ahead, the direct hit here on the Jackson. And there you go, double Stooks engaging. Good hit there. Already Jackson might be too low to retreat, and there you go, goes down. Tiger continues up here, going for the Scot. Will he finally be able to take it out? There we go. Mortar after quickly next, Stooks falling back here, leaving his Tiger Ace a bit exposed. But without any immediate snares, there might not be a problem here for now. Mortar after down as well. Catastrophic losses there for Hanwoomul and the first armoured division as Redxwings Tiger Ace now retreats. The machine is coming up here, Stooks hanging back. We got 1 ace level by the way, 5 kills, very good. Almost got the Ravnik grab the bars with the Pioneers to deprive them to Hanwoomul, whose Jackson tank destroyer is almost done, but is now going to be severely undergunned. I mean, the first one kind of was, but at least they had some other elements to support it, could at least maybe draw fire, but now there's nothing else. He's just a big fat target for the veteran Sturmgeschütz crews. Again, one of them is ace, meaning it can very quickly do some heavy damage to the Jackson tank destroyer if Hanwoomul is not careful. Machine gun firing away there from the Grenadiers. 15 kills there. Jackson charging forward, Stu reacting. Sturmgeschütz reacting, there we go. Great hit here from the Ace. Tiger Ace lands a hit as well there. Another hit then, there you go. Ace Stu gets the killing blow then the Jackson tank destroyer, and with this, game over. GG, Hanwoomul is shattered upon the mighty back of the Sturmgeschütz. So there you go, GG, game over. A brutal fight right here on Vilshanka, lots of back and forth with some nasty engagements here and there, but in the end, Redxwings persevered. He believed in the Sturmgeschütz. He believed in victory. So there you go, hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, tell your friends, tell your family. But don't tell your enemies. If you like what you can donate, play it on Patreon. Links in the description. This is Imperial Lynching. Cheers. Thank you all for watching, and of course, remember, always build Stooks. Cheers, everyone.